been better this year. He's been actually very solid, and defensively, the Mavericks rating has been very good. They're not beating. They're not beating the Clippers and then beating the 1 seed in the West and then winning a best of 7 Western Conference Finals. So sprinkle, I mean, what? Maybe $2 for me. I wouldn't waste your money. That's GTFO.
GTFO for me as well, because the ultimate white whale becomes, you have to consider, can any team, when you're thinking about sprinkling on them, find a conceivable way to beat Nikola Jokic in a 7-game series at some point in the Western Conference? For me, I could make the case for some. I cannot make the case for the Dallas Mavericks. So it's a big GTFO for me, all the reasons Pat just laid out. With that, Luka deserves to win the MVP at 20-1. This is interesting wording. Deserves NBA MVP at 20-1. Pat Boyle.
That's also GTFO. No, I've now trashed Luka and the Mavs here 2 in a row. No, he doesn't deserve to win MVP. By the way, NBA regular season MVP odds here. They've only got 3 guys listed. Nikola Jokic, minus 5,000. The thinking, the ilk is that Jokic has this award locked up. He's had it locked up for weeks. I disagree. I don't think Doncic deserves to win it. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander deserves to win it, plus 4,000. And I think today, if the Oklahoma City Thunder win and the Denver Nuggets win, the Thunder are the 1 seed in the West. They will be the best team in the Western Conference. He's the best player on the best team in the Western Conference. Nuggets could be the 3 seed today, right? So if you really want to go by that, and I know it's only going to come down to 1 game, so it's all right. We're apples and oranges, or what's the analogy I'm looking for, Shawnee? You've been on fire here. We're splitting hairs, I should say. One game in the West is going to determine who gets the 1 seed. But I just think far and away, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's numbers that he has put up this year have been absurd. And the few games they've had to play without him this season, they are not the same team, right? And if you count voter fatigue into it, I know Jokic didn't win it last year, it was Embiid, but there was the voter fatigue about Nikola Jokic. And I know he's a walking triple-double, and I know that he does everything for the Nuggets. He's their entire offense. His defense has taken a step up this year. But what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, what SGA does for the Thunder this year, the fact that he is a walking 30-burger every single night of the week, and yes, he doesn't put up the triple-double numbers and the advanced metrics that all point to Jokic and all these nerds that break out their stats here. The eye test, all the games I've watched this year, is that when SGA's on the floor, the OKC Thunder are an entirely different team. They are a dangerous team. I don't think he or the Thunder have gotten the credit they deserve this year because they fall under that category of, oh, well, they're not battle tested. Oh, well, they're not young. They've never won a playoff series with this current core here. So, sure, he's had great numbers. He's also averaging 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals this year. And his shooting numbers are absolutely off the chart. 54% from the field. He hits almost every single free throw he makes, and he only turns the ball over 2 times a game. So, he is everything you want in terms of your most valuable player. And I think the Thunder have been just as good, if not better, than the Nuggets this year. So I don't, the advanced metrics is the one that's going to decide it. And Jokic is probably going to win the award, but I can make a case that Shai should win the award, deserves to win the award at plus 4,000. When it comes to Luka, you look at the record alone, the fact that they're the 4 seed or the 5 seed, in the West, GTFO, not Luka. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander deserves to win it.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, but if the Knicks end up as the 2 seed with all the injuries they've had, the fact that Jalen Brunson, he would get more love for Luka than me as well. All right. Boy, me and Patty really agreeing here. GTFO or, oh yeah, the Raiders will trade into the top 3 in the NFL draft. I'm going to start this one off. GTFO, in what universe? First of all, you have 3 teams that are quarterback needy. And if we believe that the Patriots at 3, the Washington Commanders have taken the 1 quarterback the Patriots have highlighted, that is a scenario where I could see the Patriots trading out. You mean to tell me that the Vikings with 2 first-round picks in need of a quarterback and the Giants with a 6th overall pick clearly wanting a quarterback, both of those teams would have more of an arsenal or an appetizing trade package to me to the New England Patriots if the New England Patriots would even consider that to get to the number 3 part. So I don't even think a trade is happening into the top 3, but putting the Raiders, I know they're going to need a quarterback at some point here too. Putting the Raiders in that, no, because they're not going to be the only team looking to do that, and they're not going to have the best package, Pat.
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you. I totally agree. I just don't see any world where the Patriots or the Commanders or certainly the Chicago Bears are saying, sure, we will let you jump into our spots, all teams that I think are 1,000% drafting quarterbacks, to let the Vegas Raiders trade into the top three and take their spot and draft a guy that they've had their eyes on now for months. So I totally agree, and I want to tee you up for this next one here as well, since I kind of
Ooh.
hinted at my thoughts on the one first round NBA playoff matchup that is locked and set in stone: Clippers versus the Mavericks here, and home court advantage lies with the LA Clippers. They're the 4 seed. The Mavericks are the 5 seed. GTFO or oh yeah, the Clippers do not make it past the first round.
GTFO. I got to see it here from the Mavs, and they could have the Luka magic. Let's see what Kyrie. Look, the one thing the Clippers don't have going for them is you don't trust James Harden to rise to the occasion. The one thing they do have going for them is, we still haven't seen the Kawhi Paul George thing. And the fact that the Clippers haven't had more pressure or angst about what a failure their tandem has been since arriving there. I mean, not even coming close to sniffing, and all the injuries that they've had. They have been a colossal failure. But this does feel like a Spider-Man meme type of matchup between these two teams that either one of these teams can win. So, wait, what did I say? GTFO or oh, yeah? I think they can make it past this first round. Did I say GTFO?
Yes.
I mean, oh, yeah. No. Yeah, GTFO means they don't. This is stupidly worded. I think the Clippers can, and my gut tells me they will beat the Mavericks in the first round.
So, yeah, so I think then the appropriate answer would be GTFO when I ask you they do not make it past the first round.
Here's the problem. The way this is worded, I think a simpler way to do this, if I were the producer of the show, would just be the Clippers will make it past the Mavericks in the first round. GTFO or oh yeah. Not the Clippers do not make it past the first round. GTFO or oh yeah, because now you're like doing a double entendre.
Yeah, Mario saying it's not hard. So he's challenging your intelligence once again. You and Mario have had quite the spats today.
Look, I have been a longtime producer in radio. It's not hard to be a good producer, and I'm just trying to teach Mario how to do that. That's all.
I think our buddy Damon Amendolara would maybe disagree in terms of your producing skills, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Different chapter of my life. That's all I'll
say. All right, the White Sox end up with the worst record in Major League Baseball. That's plus 250. We can bet on that the White Sox will be the worst team in baseball. GTFO or oh yeah, the White Sox will be the worst team in baseball this year.
I was this minute years old when I looked at who the bad teams were in baseball already. So let me just start that off. The White Sox stink. They're going to be sellers at the deadline. The Marlins at least have saved themselves with a couple wins over the last week after they were the last team to get a win. I'm getting plus odds on a stinky team that's right at the bottom of the standings at 2-12. Oh, yeah, I'll take them as the worst record in baseball, sure. For those odds,
yeah,
sure.
We're 14 games in. I know that we're not even 1/10 of the way done with the baseball season, but and I would say in years past, when you have to play each of your division rivals, what did it used to be? You played them 18 times each, right? Now that they've gone away with that, the more balanced scheduling, the AL Central, which has been
now, right?
Yeah, the AL Central, which has been historically weak, I would say, all right, well, they have to play. By the way, the Royals off to a good start at 10-5, but the Tigers also off to a decent start. The Twins, all those teams, it feels like they're all good for like between 82 and 88 wins, and none of them are really gonna be good. I would say maybe in years past, the White Sox can eke out a couple of 5-6 wins against each of those guys. But now that it's a more balanced scheduling, I would say that does lend to them being the worst team in baseball. The Marlins look bad, but they've played some good teams so far. The Rockies. That's probably the only other team that I think is standing up as the worst team in baseball this year. But, dude, I mean, I remember I saw a tweet. I forget who it was, but it was just like, look at the White Sox lineup. Who the hell are these guys rolling out here on a day-to-day basis? It is really sad. Do you remember last year going into the year where the White Sox to win the American League was like a trendy pick? How about that? And they're rolling out 148-year-old Tony La Russa as their manager. I mean, what an absolute failure they've become. And I know Jerry Reinsdorf, maybe you don't want to make his widowed wife cry at the at the arena or whatever when they're honoring him. But I mean, dude, just the ownership and the decision making of that franchise in the last 10 years, it has been abysmal. It has been absolutely abysmal. And outside of Yohan Moncada, who, again, really hasn't materialized either, who the hell are they rolling out in this lineup on a nightly basis? And all their guys that were supposed to be big studs for them have been total duds, studs to duds. Plus 250, White Sox to be the worst team in baseball. I'm with you, Shawnee. Again, I think we just went 5 for 5, lockstep with one another. I think we've agreed on every single one of these.
So let's see if we close it out here. The Masters is a top 3 sporting event of the year. GTFO or oh yeah?
I'm gonna go GTFO, and I think we're gonna be lockstep again here. Just we're two guys. We're not huge golf fans. Again, I'm gonna watch the back nine with my dad after I get home. I got to produce the Brooklyn Nets game on the radio today, but I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna watch the back nine with my dad. But I have to be locked in for at least 2 full days for it to be a top 3 sporting event. It doesn't touch March Madness. It absolutely doesn't touch the Super Bowl. And for me, in totality, it doesn't come near the NBA playoffs. And again,
Well,
in a
Pat,
little
think about
track.
it.
What?
I'm with you just real quickly. NBA playoffs as a whole, NHL playoffs as a whole, the NFL playoffs as a whole. Even if you're not a baseball guy, I'll put that to a side. I personally take the baseball playoffs as well. Then the actual days, right? Conference Championship Sunday is an event. Super Bowl is an event. The NBA Finals is an event. The Stanley Cup is an event. I prefer all of those moments. And by the way, week 5 in the NFL is a better event than than the Masters. The college football playoff is a better event. March Madness is a better event. By the way, GTFO or oh yeah, Masters Sunday is the best event today. I think the last day of the NBA regular season is a better event today. So how can I call it top 3 of the year?
How about the Masters isn't even the best sporting event of the year in golf? How about the U.S.
Yeah,
Open or
good
whatever one
point.
falls on Father's Day weekend is better because you get to watch it with your pops, and that's the one where you're like, all right, Dad, we'll watch the golf together.
Right? No, it's one of those things. By the way, if you love the Masters, you love the Masters. But I think hockey fans and and soccer fans get a bad rap for this, where, oh, you always defending the sport, nobody like whatever. People like golf, but I think it is way more niche, these major events, to the skew older, relating to your dad, than people realize. That being said, I'm going to throw shekels and hope Scotty Scheffler wins. All right, when we come back, our best bets of the day. Let's close it out. It's BetQL's 5-Star Weekend, presented by BetMGM.
BetQL 5-Star Weekend will be back on the BetQL Network. Presented by BetMGM. Welcome back to BetQL 5-Star Weekend on the BetQL Network. Presented by BetMGM.
All right, baby. It's BetQL's 5-Star Weekend. We have had a fun show today. And you're probably thinking, hey, giving out some bets. Am I really making money off these two bozos? What else they got for me? Don't worry. You're probably in a hole today. You've had a bad weekend betting golf, basketball, hockey, baseball. What is it? Well, we're going to give you a D-Gen bet. I'm going to give you a long-ass parlay. Pat Boyle's got a beefcake patty bet for you. So let's go. Let's give it up with some D-Gen bets now.
Grayer, but at the end of the day, I'm still a degenerate.
That's right, baby. D-Gen bets. How we do this every single Sunday. We give you something you're not thinking about betting on that only a degenerate would bet on. And with that, Pat Boyle, what are you D-Genning up today?
Yeah, I love how you're D-Genning a nice little juicy wing over there at 11:43 in the morning here on the East Coast. How about that? D-Gen eating in terms in front of a D-Gen bet. I got a little soccer for you, right? I got a little soccer on a day where the NBA is going to dominate, where Masters Sunday is going to dominate, where you got a Sunday of baseball. Let's go out to Italia, right? Half of my homeland. The other half obviously being Irish. Pat Boyle. I wonder what nationality that guy is. He's got a shamrock on his chest. I'm also half Italian. And I'm going against the team that I support from Italy, the team that I like the most, Roma. They're from Rome, in case you didn't know that. Well, they're on the road today against Udinese. Udinese. Say it with me, Sean. Udinese. Udinese. I'm going with the upset here. Give me Udinese plus 225 to win the game outright. This game matters to both of these teams. Udinese, they've actually been one of the worst teams in Italy this year. They are slightly above, again, in case you forgot how soccer works, teams get relegated if they finish in the bottom three. Udinese is barely above that. So they're fighting to stay in the league, in Serie A. Whereas Roma, they're fighting, they have a longer shot of making the Champions League, the top league in Europe. But they're in fifth place, and it's not totally out of question. But the thing is, Roma right now, they're playing in the second tier of Europe football. That's the Europa League, one thing below the Champions League. And they're playing another team.
Europa me in.
There you go. I'm giving you a little background to the degeneration here. So they play it two legs, two games. They just played the first one on Thursday against Milan, and they won 1-0. Now they got to come home and play them again next Thursday, and everything on the line for them because Roma can still get into the Champions League, even if they don't finish in the top four, if they win this tournament. Long story short, they just played a huge emotional game on Thursday. They got to play the same game emotionally the second leg on Thursday. They're on the road. It's not only a coming off of an emotional high, it's a look-ahead spot as well to Roma. They're on the road. Udinese trying to battle in the relegation battle here. Plus 225. Udinese beat them last time they played them at home 4-0. So I think you get good value. You get a team that's looking past them here. Roma's got a couple of their starters that they normally play on the bench because they just played Thursday, and they've got another massive game next Thursday. So I think Udinese pulls an upset here. Plus 225 in the Italian soccer. Forget about it.
Udinese going to get relegated. Huh? All right.
What are the chances?
What? For me, I'm going tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, to the Indian Cricket League. All right. And a big one for a struggling Royal Challengers Bangalore versus the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Okay. Here's the deal. These Royal Challengers Bangalore heading on the road here, they have had a significant bowling problem. They've loaded up with hitters, but it hasn't helped. And here you get it, even money, a home Sunrisers Hyderabad team who's been cruising along. They beat Punjab last time out, and that was a big job. I'm being serious here. So give me even money, a little D-Gen bet. Got a little tip off of my cricket people. That's the look. Big payout there. Big payout, even money if you lay down some big shekels. All right, with that, Boyle, let's beef it up, baby.
Pat Boyle's Beef Bet of the Week. I'm angry. I'm ready. I need to bet. It's Pat Boyle's Beef Bet of the Week on the Bet.
Yeah, in case you don't know how Boyle's Beef Bet works, we make bets sometimes with our heart rather than our head. And sometimes you make bets to spite certain teams that have done you wrong, against players you hate, against coaches you hate. Sometimes I use it to bet against my own team. I've done that with the Islanders in the past. They have since proven me wrong. I said stick a fork in them the last time I gave out a beef bet and bet against my team, and the Islanders did lose that game, so you won money when they played the Devils. They have since turned their season around. They are almost a lock for the playoffs now, and not only a lock, they're probably going to be a third-place team in the Metro Division. They're not even going to have to be a wild card team. They're going to avoid playing one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference for the playoffs. So what a turnaround. I think I have single-handedly spurred them on with the beef bet against them a couple of weeks ago. I think they heard that. I think the great owner, John Ledecky, and the great coach, Patrick Waugh, heard that and said, we got to prove Patty Boyle wrong. We got to do it for him and the rest of the Islanders fans. I'm going to bet on my team here because I think this is a disrespectful line. Amongst the big giant spreads we have in the NBA today, the fact that the Knicks are only 14.5-point favorites against the Chicago Bulls is total disrespect to me. Total disrespect. The Knicks have a chance to get the 2 seed today if they win and the Milwaukee Bucks lose, and the Bucks are on the road playing the Orlando Magic, who are playing anywhere between the 5 and the 8 seed. Big game for them. We know Giannis is out, so it is absolutely plausible that the Knicks have to do everything they can to pound the Chicago Bulls into submission and win this game. Also, the Bulls, they're already locked into the 9-versus-10 game. They're at home later this week against the Atlanta Hawks. The 9-versus-10 is settled. What motivation do they have to go out and win this game on a Sunday afternoon on the final game of the regular season? What motivation do they have to play Kobe White and DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic more than 20 minutes in this game and risk injury? They are going to lie down, and the Knicks are going to put a spanking on the Chicago Bulls. Plus, I'm a big Knicks fan. Coach Tom Thibodeau, he is going to go pedal to the metal. He is going to have his starters out there, even if it's a 20-point game, until about the 4 or 5 minute mark left in this game. They are going to leave no doubt. The fact that this is 14.5, this should be closer to the spread that you see in the Oklahoma City Thunder Dallas Mavericks game. Just because the Bulls haven't ruled out most of their players, like other teams who have nothing to play for today doesn't mean that they are going to risk injury to try to win this game when it means absolutely nothing for them. The Knicks are going to annihilate the Chicago Bulls today. 14.5, I think, is a joke. This should have been 17, 18, 18.5. The Knicks are going to leave no doubt. It is going to be a beatdown at the world's most famous arena. My Knicks are going to cover the 14.5. And the fact that you're getting this number, I really do think this is a joke that you're getting 14.5. I think this is a total smackdown of epic proportions. Give me the Knicks. Go New York. Go New York. Go.
Good luck to your Knicks, Pat. That's Boyle's beef bet. So what is your beef? I guess your beef is just against the line that the Knicks are being disrespected.
Yes. And It's the fact that this is the third time they're playing the Bulls in the last 2 weeks. The Bulls snuck up on them and beat them 2 times ago. Then the Knicks came back and beat them by 11 in Chicago. But again, no motivation for Chicago. They're already locked into playing the 9-versus-10 play-in game at home against the Hawks. It means nothing to them, and it means everything to the Knicks. And they don't take teams lightly anyway. They're 29-5 against teams under 500 this year. And the way that Tom Thibodeau coaches, he's going to leave no doubt. He's going to have Jalen Brunson in the starters there. If it's a 25-point game, they're going to be in there until about 4 minutes left to go. I'm telling you. So you want a team that you think, all right, well, maybe they pull their starters at half. Not going to happen with the Knicks.
Real flexible use of the word beef. Thank you, Patty. Great Sunday with you as I get ready to give my Sunday Scaries!
The weekend is almost over, but there's still time to place just one more bet. Don't panic. There's still time to win it all back. It's time for the Sunday Scaries.
All right. 2 legs short yesterday. Kind of like Lieutenant Dan. So I'm going to give you a 6-legger here at 13-1. First, on the hardwood, and a little alternate spread here. The Brooklyn Nets versus a Sixer team that might be having to watch Embiid's health late. Nets playing for Kevin Ollie here, and it's his last game as a head coach. Give me the Nets plus 21.5 on an alternate spread. Game number 2, we've highlighted it all throughout the day. The Golden State Warriors can host a play-in game if a couple things go their way. They're laying 8 points today. Look, it's not double digits like some of these other big spreads we've seen for teams playing for things. Give me the Warriors plus 8. All right, king side of things. Sabonis, when do the starters get pulled here? I'm only asking for 18 points here to get him over 17.5. He is a double-double machine. Give me Sabonis over 17.5 points. Thunder going all out to try to get the 1 seed today. SGA's over-under number, I think he's at 24 or 26.5. I'm just going to play it a little light in case they do get out to a big lead and kind of pull things back. SGA to score 20 or more points for the Oklahoma City Thunder today. Over on the ice, though, I gave this out as my hot cake, and I'm really sticking with it. I'm betting this straight. I'm throwing it in parlays. The Carolina Hurricanes can win out and with a Ranger loss in regulation tomorrow, be the President's Trophy winner, of course, their division winner, all of that. Or they could just simply be second in the division. That's how tight them and the Rangers have been, the two best teams now, I think, in hockey, or at the very least the Eastern Conference in the same division. Playing a crap Blackhawk team today with nothing to play for. Puck line's 1.5. So even if the Hurricanes are clinging to a 1-goal lead, that goalie gets pulled for Chicago. You're asking for an empty netter to cover. Give me the Hurricanes minus 1.5 on the puck line. Again, I have it straight. I'm throwing it in here as my fifth leg. And last but not least, Nestor Cortez of the New York Yankees, alternate strikeouts 4 or more versus a Cleveland Guardian team that is just, what an awful lineup. Yankees took 2 yesterday. Asking Nasty Nestor to get 4 Ks here, a little tack on. Those 6 legs get you to 13-1. So again, Nets plus 21.5. The Warriors minus 8. Sabonis getting over 17.5 points. SGA to score 20 or more points. Hurricanes minus 1.5 on the puck line, and Nestor Cortez 4 strikeouts. I'm giving you alternate lines, a straight side here with the Warriors, a point total over. An alternate point, puck lines. I'm all over the place. And you should be all over the place this Sunday. Great Sunday ahead. Thanks to Patty Boyle. Thanks to Mario. Thanks to Danny. Thanks to Kenny. Thank you to all of you. We'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy Masters Sunday. Enjoy the last day of the NBA regular season. It's Betql's 5-Star Weekend presented by BetMGM.
You've been listening to the BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM. If you missed any of the shows, listen back anytime on the new and improved Odyssey app.